What if a sport is your main thing? Football, basketball, soccer, baseball, dance, cheer. Would cross-training into martial arts add value to that? Of course it would, for all those other reasons that I said. And again, I've worked with people. I get the calls, and we do a lot of these more on a private lesson basis, because that's going to help accelerate the learning, and it can be catered to their needs. Like, I know this guy doesn't want to do any jump, spin, and kicks. He wants to work on footwork and movement and things that's going to help that. Hello, welcome to the Martial Arts Lifestyle. I am James Cox, and we're in episode number 85 today. 85, that sounds like a lot of episodes, but definitely not the numbers that we're going to get to. We're over a year and a half into this podcast show. I hope you guys have enjoyed them. If you haven't seen the rest, go back and listen. There's some really good content. I've had the honor and privilege of interviewing some top martial artists from all over the world, some world champions and grandmasters in some different fields of martial arts. It's not just about martial arts, it's about the lifestyle within that and carrying it everywhere you go. So be sure you follow us and do the right things to help me grow this podcast. Today I want to talk to you about martial arts. Is martial arts for cross-training? So the word is really cross-training. Now, in this case, I'm not talking cross-training like as if you dojo hop. You go to this school for this and this school for that, and you're training with anyone and everywhere at any time. That is another episode, another video, but it does have its benefits. I would say in that concept of cross-training, it depends on what you're really looking for, and if you have that available at the academy that you're currently at. And if not, maybe you do have to go somewhere else. But I'm talking about cross-training where it's going to help you in other areas. So you're going to use the martial arts for sports, careers, and life preparation. It's, of course, optimal to train martial arts year-round. Make it your main thing, right? Is my main thing, obviously. And it's a way of life. It's something that you do year-round. It only takes 2, 3, 4 times a week, depending, again, on the level and what your goals are. But it's something that you could do, and I recommend martial arts for everyone, of course. But now let's talk about that other alternative. We call the alternative, where you're going to do martial arts for a little bit. And that's okay, because you know that you're going to do martial arts for a little bit. That's the goal. That's what you're signing up for. You're going to do it for a season, if you will. And you're doing it to help aid your main thing. All right. So I've worked with a lot of people. I'm doing some private lessons with this guy right now that came to me, and he heard somewhere or other that martial arts and off season and cross training can really benefit his football. He's a high school football player. That's his main thing. He's all about some football. And, I'm not a football coach. I don't claim to be one. I know a little bit about the sport, but we do martial arts drills that are going to help him. It's going to add to the table. We're not taking anything away. It's going to make him faster and stronger and work on that flexibility and speed and power, timing and footwork and redirective movement. And sometimes it's just like, have some fun with something different. I said before, you can't just walk on a treadmill all the time. That can get kind of sort of old, but it does have some good benefits. So you might find other ways to get those same results or whatever it is that you're looking for. So you could use your martial arts. You could use the martial arts for a short time to cross-train for a season. What if a sport is your main thing? Football, basketball, soccer, baseball, dance, cheer. Would cross-training into martial arts add value to that? Of course it would, for all those other reasons that I said. And again, I've worked with people. I get the calls, and we do a lot of these more on a private lesson basis, because that's going to help accelerate the learning, and it can be catered to their needs. Like, I know this guy doesn't want to do any jump, spin, and kicks. He wants to work on footwork and movement and things that's going to help that. You can cross-train to add benefits, the physical and mental and the cardio, strength, and flexibility and all those things. You can also cross-train your martial arts to help your main thing with added mental benefits. No matter what it is that you want to succeed at, man, you have to have that discipline and determination, desire, better, stronger work ethic and the mindset. And martial arts teaches a mindset of a warrior. So if you can have that everywhere else you go with everything else that you do, then you're going to be able to carry those skills over into your main thing. I call this just training with a purpose and being results driven. You're going to get out of what you put in it, right? So train with that purpose. Other athletics, other sports, and even even into things like military. So I've had many of people call me through the years. I've worked with many of us students, and some have continued martial arts, and now it is their main thing. But they signed up for the military. They're going away for boot camp. And again, somehow or other, they heard or got the thought that they could come do martial arts for 3 months just to give them a heads up, give them an advantage to get ready for the boot camp. Yeah, and it can do that for sure. I mean, because where else are you going to learn showing that respect daily? You know, these guys are trained, and man, before they even go, they know how to say yes, sir. They know how to do good push-ups and squats. They know how to follow. They know about that kind of stuff that we do in the martial arts. And, you know, martial arts is from that word military, right? So to be militant, to stand at attention and not move, to follow the commands, to have your head up, chest out, and put some intensity and heart and desire behind what you do. So I think these are going to make better soldiers with just a little bit of added martial arts training and preparation for that. I've had people come in because they're going to be traveling and they just want to do this a little bit for a season. Traveling nurses is one of them that I get. Real estate. They're leaving Abilene and they're going to a different city, state, or country. Maybe they're going to be in an area for a short time that's high crime rate. And these guys are nervous. They need some peace of mind. They need some basics. You know, now I try to explain with you know, everything understood that, hey, we can only do so much in this short time. One lesson, what are you going to get out of one lesson? I guess you'll be a little bit better than you were, depending on the lesson and who's teaching and how they're teaching it. But let's get as much time that we can before you take off to go on this trip or whatever, right? And it can do things. And I only know this because they've always told me. I've had that football player come back to me and say, like, Coach, I tried your move last night on the game and it worked. This guy was coming forward and I manipulated the wrist, elbow, and shoulder and he went flying in the sidelines. And I'm like, well, cool, you know, good, it worked, right? I've had the people that go into the military and then eventually become officers. And they're like, man, you know, that really helped me going through that martial arts training early on. When I got there, I wasn't as new. I wasn't as shocked. I had some concept of that culture, if you will. It's nothing like the real thing, so don't get me wrong, but it's helpful. You know, I've had these people and I've had some bad situations where someone was able to defend themselves or even as smart enough as recognizing the threat. Prevention is key, and to get away in time. When the nurse was getting off in the middle of the night in a strange area, going to her car, and had the intuition of something, you know, shady about to happen, and just turned around. Or the actual assaults, if it was domestic abuse or whatever, where these people were able to protect themselves. Let's not just talk about that. Let's talk about using martial arts for your athleticism, your cross training for physical fitness, right? The gym rats, you know, we got many people that will come in that they're at that gym every day, right? They're faithful to their weight training and the things they do at the health club, but they need an alternative for cardio. What about some more exciting cardio? Man, you're not going to beat a good fitness kickboxing class. You know, taught the right way, you could burn 800, 1,000 calories an hour in a solid fitness kickboxing class. And that's some functional cardio. You know, you're going to burn the calories, tone the muscles, get the flexibility, but in a way you're learning some proper punches and kicks and stress release on hitting bags. So there's some other alternatives, you know, with your martial arts training as cross training. We've done things with corporations, are leaders, managers, CEOs of companies that have come to me for a short period of time to get a heads up on leadership, to get a heads up on team bonding, to get a heads up on being that leader and being in that position and just being more confident in their self. You know, what's one of our strongest things that we can do in martial arts is that we can teach confidence, you know, that ability to believe in yourself and under that stress that you can do and have and become this or that, but to really be able to show and feel true with that confidence, because self-doubt is what's the evil, right? So to believe in the self is important. And these are some things that you can do. You know, when I talk about this, I mentioned a little bit, but what's the difference in private lesson, personal training versus a group class, a structured curriculum with a lesson plan? Again, if it's going to be the main thing and you're doing this as a way of life, then get in those group classes, go through the structure, go through the belt ranks if that's applicable, and understand what you do, because martial arts, it doesn't really end, man. You're going to rotate through and you're going to need to do that left hook again, or that headlock escape, or that hip toss, and it's just continued knowledge and improvement. But if you want to accelerate a little bit faster, then in these areas, we find a lot of times it's best to do short term, short season, a little bit of training on a personal lesson basis, so one-on-one. I think you could probably learn about 10 times as fast. And again, it's catered to your direct needs. What may very well happen, I love it when it happens, is these people come in as that alternative short-term little bit, and then they become lifelong martial artists, right? I'm not saying to take away your main thing, but you have some backup. What if football doesn't work out for you? What if you have an injury here or there and then you're not able to do that main thing? Then there's always martial arts too. There's a lot of ways we can work around those injuries and, disabilities and things. I think most people can do martial arts at least to a level. Some special events that we'll do to expose martial arts to other people in the community. This kind of goes along with that cross-training type thing. When I talk to people and they're like, have you ever had any martial arts before, right? And they'll say, well, I went to a birthday party. Or I went to one of this seminar workshop classes that you guys did. Or, my kids did your parents' night out parties all the time. So that gives some exposure to what martial arts is. So we, as in the Martial Arts Academy in our community, we will go out into the community for many reasons, of course, and to host special events. So if we're somewhere else or we're bringing it to our karate school, we'll do a women's self-defense course, a bully prevention class, a gun and knife seminar, an MMA clinic. And these are seminars that anybody can do. And wherever you are, there's seminars somewhere. Seminars, workshops, trial classes, and they're usually low-cost events. And that's going to expose you, if it's for 1 hour or a 6-hour training seminar, to at least see a little bit more what the martial arts is about with all those other things that we do. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about today. To me, it's optimal or alternative, but the martial arts is there for you. If you're not going to do it as your main thing, then dip in there and do it to help your other thing, all right? And give me a call if I can help you out. You guys be sure to check out all of our podcasts, as well as our YouTube channel, James Cox Martial Arts. Thanks.